One way, Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York, that we as good Catholics cannot think about food if we think about Jesus. There's so many Catholic traditions for Advent and Christmas. And what's really funny is that so many of us forget that we're really supposed to be fasting as often as we can during Advent, because without a fast, there can really be no feast at Christmas. So I consider a fast if you drink a Boost, which is 190 calories, and as a meal replacement, or if you have 140 calorie Greek yogurt as a meal replacement. That's kind of a light fast. Skipping meals at certain ages, you get too dizzy or whatever, try to have some protein. But there's so many Catholic traditions that I, as a cradle Catholic, weren't even familiar with. We're all familiar with the Advent wreath. We're all familiar with the empty manger. I do not think it's Christmas unless there is a manger on display. Every year when I get out our manger, I am just, this is Christmas. There's the manger. Now, one thing that we never did was the Jesse tree. How many people do the Jesse tree in their house? Nobody. Well, I guess I'm not the only bad Catholic. It's not only bad Catholic. It's a tree, can be made on a poster board with symbols glued on. I never heard of it. St. Nicholas Day, I thought of him on St. Nicholas's Day, December 6th, and asked for intercession. The Christ candle, any large white candle can be used for the Christ candle. I love this. You can take old Christmas cards and decorate it if you want to. And it should always be lit on Christmas Eve because Jesus is the light of the world. Jelly donuts are not the light of the world. Jesus is. The Mary candle. You know, so many people still think the Immaculate Conception is the virgin birth. The Immaculate Conception is that Mary was born without sin, without original sin. She was the mother of Christ. She's the only person, besides Jesus, who was born without sin. St. Lucy's Day is December 13th. The nativity scene goes right through with having a manger. Now this one, Christmas baking. Everyone's out there going, oh, I do that one, Ellen. I do the Christmas baking, no problem. Some people think they have to make 1,000,000 Christmas cookies. Guess what? If you said to your family, this year I'm not baking cookies, would there be no Christmas? I heard a few gasp. Think about it. If you can make them and not eat them, God bless you. The blessing of the tree. I like having a real Christmas tree, as long as Bob and I are healthy enough to do that, because the Christmas tree is really a Christian symbol. It's evergreen. It's like the first parents weren't allowed to eat from the tree, and Christ paid for our sins by hanging on a tree. The Christmas tree is a Christian symbol. And for instance, St. Boniface gave the balsam fir tree to the Druids in place of an oak tree, which was their idol, because he thought it was a sign of endless life with its evergreen branches. And it never shelters deeds of blood, but filled with loving gifts and rites of kindness. So that's where that tradition started. And I never heard of the great O's. You're supposed to start them on December 17th, and you read them aloud at home. On December 17th, you go all the way down to the 23rd, and you say, O Emmanuel, our King and Lawgiver, the expectation of all nations and their salvation, come and save us, O Lord our God. If one person in this group, besides me, does the great O's, it will make my Christmas. Send me an email. Say you did them. That'll make me happy. And then Jesus is the reason for the season. When someone wants to give you too much food, hold this up. Just go like this. Jesus is the reason for the season. Okay? I tell you, there have been years where I was afraid of Christmas. Anybody afraid this year? A little afraid? Anyone want to admit they're afraid? Anyone not want to raise their hand? Because I'll say, what are you afraid of? I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.